Hello guys, and welcome back to Reading Clubs. So today I'm going to start a new book. It's called Bertie, Germs, and it's divided into 3 stories. The first story is called Germs, the second Stomp, and the third Zombie. So today I'm going to read you the first story, which is called Germs. Chapter 1. Are you alright? Said Mum. You don't look well. Bertie looked up from his breakfast. His mum was talking to Susie, who had just trooped into the kitchen. I'm hot, she moaned. Actually, I'm a bit hot, said Bertie, through a mouthful of cereal. My head aches, croaked Susie. I ache all over. My head's sort of achy, said Bertie. It aches when I talk. Mum paid no attention. Let me look at you, she said to Susie. Goodness, look at these spots. I think you've got chickenpox. Chickenpox, groaned Susie. Chickenpox, said Bertie. Mom fished her big blue medical book and turned the pages. Here it is, she said. Chickenpox. Small itchy red spots, fever and aches and pains. Yes, you have definitely got it. No school for a week, I'm afraid. A week, said Bertie. Susie stuck out her tongue and drooped back upstairs to bed. What about me? Asked Bertie, pulling up his shirt. My tummy's a bit blotchy. Do you think that's chickenpox? I think that's dirt, said Mom. Now finish your breakfast and keep away from Susie. Chickenpox is very catching. Bertie sighed. It wasn't fair. How come his sister caught chickenpox when he never got anything? If anyone ought to catch something, it was him. He hardly ever washed his hands. Now Susie would get a whole week off school while he had to sit through boring lessons with Miss Boot. Bertie gulped. He just remembered what day it was. Friday, homework day. As usual, Bertie had put off doing his homework until the last minute. Then, at the last minute, he'd forgotten altogether. Miss Boot, however, would not forget. Anyone who didn't hand in their homework on time risked execution or worse. If only I had chickenpox, thought Bertie. He felt his head. It did feel a bit hard. He scratched under his arm. He was definitely a bit itchy. The more he thought about it, the more he was convinced he was getting it. Mom, he wailed. I don't feel well. There's nothing wrong with you, said Mom. You just ate 2 bowls of cereal. Yes, but that was before. Now I feel sick. Don't talk nonsense, Bertie. Hurry up and clean your teeth. Bertie stomped upstairs to the bathroom. How come no one ever believed him? Sorry. For all they knew, he could be dying. He looked in the mirror. Just my luck, he thought, not a single spot. But wait a minute, didn't Mom say chickenpox was catching? Well, then he just had to catch it. After all, why should his greedy sister keep it all to herself? Germs, thought Bertie, that's what he needed. Germs spreaded diseases. And luckily, they were everywhere. His parents were always saying, don't touch that, Bertie, it's covered in germs. Cats and dogs had germs. Toilets were crawling with them. You get germs from picking your nose or eating sweets off the floor. Bertie had always wanted to examine some germs under a microscope. He imagined tiny armies of them with scowling faces and hairy legs. Cold germs would be green. Chickenpox germs would be spotty. But where did you catch them? Bertie looked around and his eyes fell on Susie's pink toothbrush that would be covered in her germs. He squeezed out a large blob of toothpaste. Cleaning your teeth with your sister's toothbrush was a bit disgusting, even for him. But if it meant missing school, it would be worth it. Bertie, called Mum, what are you doing up there? Nothing, shouted Bertie. Just cleaning my teeth. He swallowed some toothpaste to give the germs a better chance to work. Then he stared at his face in the mirror and waited. Unbelievable, not a single spot. What did you have to do to catch a few measly germs? On the landing, he met Mum carrying a glass of lemonade. Is that for Susie? Asked Bertie. Can I take it to her? Why? Said Mum suspiciously. I'm just being helpful. said Mum. Better not. I don't want you catching her germs. I won't, said Bertie. I won't even go near her. I'll just put it down where she can reach it. Mum eyed Bertie strangely. It wasn't like him to offer help. Okay, but don't spill any and don't go bothering her. Bertie smiled to himself. When Susie had drunk from the glass, it would be covered in her germs. One little sip of that lemonade, and he'd be drinking billions of them. Susie was sitting up in bed, looking pale. What do you want? She groaned. I brought you some lemonade, said Bertie, smiling sweetly. Susie narrowed her eyes. Why, what are you up to? Nothing, said Bertie. I'm just looking after you. You don't fool me, said Susie. You want to catch my chickenpox so you can stay off school. I don't, lied Bertie. I have some lemonade. I'm not thirsty. Just a sip. Go away. Let me help, said Bertie, pressing the glass to Susie's lips. He tipped it up. Susie choked and spluttered. Lemonade spilled on her pajamas and splashed the streets. Mom! wailed Susie. Bertie's being mean. Mom's feet pounded up the stairs. What's going on? She demanded. Nothing, cried Bertie. Bertie with the bed, howled Susie. Bertie, shouted Mom. Get out! Bertie escaped to his bedroom. He still had the glass, and luckily there was a little lemonade left in the bottom. He could almost see the germs swimming around like tiny tadpoles. Chickenpox, here I come, he thought, gulping down the drink in one go. He ran to the bathroom and stared at his face. A minute passed. 2 minutes. He inspected his belly. Not a single spot or blotch. This is so unfair, thought Bertie. Susie got chickenpox without even trying. Time was running out. Any minute now, Mom would drag him off to school and he would have to face Miss Boot. There was no escape, unless he suddenly remembered his Mom's big blue medical book. Bertie found it on the kitchen table. Boils, bruises, burns, chickenpox. Here it is. Bertie read it twice through, then closed the book. Maybe I don't actually need to catch anything, he thought. He just had to make Mom believe he had chickenpox. Then he'd be safe. No Miss Boot, no school, and no handing in smelly homework. Chapter 3. Bertie, where are you? We need to go, yelled Mom. Bertie dragged himself downstairs and slumped into the hall. I'm tired, he moaned. Don't droop, said Mom. We're late and I need to get back to Susie. Now hurry up. She opened the front door and marched off down the road. Bertie dawdled behind at a snail's pace. Can't you walk a bit faster? Grumbled Mum. I'm tired, moaned Bertie. My legs hurt. Bertie, stop all this nonsense, said Mum. There's nothing wrong with you. Now get a move on. There is, wailed Bertie. I've got aches and pains. Where? All over, said Bertie. Mum rolled her eyes. I don't have time for this, Bertie. You're going to school and that's that. She strode off down the road. Bertie made I'm going to be sick noises. Mum kept walking. Bertie sounded as if he was choking. Mum spun around. Now what? I think I'm going to be sick. So which is it then? Your legs hurt? Or you're feeling sick? Both, said Bertie. I think I must be really catching it. Catching what? Chickenpox. Mum bent down to examine his face. Chickenpox, eh? She said. So where are all the spots then? Show me. Oops, thought Bertie. He'd completely forgotten about the spots. Mum folded her arms. Oh dear, yes, this is serious, she said. Very serious. I see what you've got. It's homework. Is that bad? Asked Bertie. Very bad. You catch it when you don't do your homework. There's only one cure, I'm afraid. Staying home? Asked Bertie, hopefully. No, said Mum, telling your teacher. I'm sure Miss Boot will know what to do. Come on. Chapter 4. They reached the school gates. Bertie waved to his friends, Darren and Eugene, who were clutching their homework books, ready to hand in. Miss Boot was prowling the playground, glaring at anyone who dared to make a noise. Over by the railings, Bertie spotted Angela nicely, sucking on a stick of licorice. Angela lived next door to Bertie. She was 6 years old and madly in love with him. Normally he tried to avoid her, but right now she was his only chance. Is that licorice? Asked Bertie. Yes, beamed Angela proudly. I bought it with my pocket money. Can I have a bit? Angela shook her head. No, it's mine. Go on, just a bit. I already sucked it. It's got my germs, said Angela, braving the soggy licorice. I'll swap you my apple, said Bertie. No thanks. Bertie didn't have much time. His mom had finished chatting to Mrs. Nicely and was getting ready to go. I'll give you 50 pence, he said. I'll bring it to you school on Monday. Angela considered. She could buy a lot of licorice with 50 pence. Brownies on her, she said. Yes, brownies on her. Angela took a last suck of the licorice and handed it over. Bertie popped it swiftly in his mouth and chewed. Mum was coming. Bye then, Bertie. Have a good day at school. Mum swallowed. He groaned. What? Bertie pointed to his throat. He croaked. What? I can't hear what you're saying. My throat hurts. Mum sighed heavily. Bertie, we've been through all this. There's nothing wrong with you. There is. Okay, show me. Open your mouth. Bertie opened his mouth and stuck out his tongue. Good heavens, shrieked Mum. It's black. Why didn't you say so before? Bertie lay on the sofa and zapped on the TV. It was going to be a brilliant day. Susie felt too sick to leave her bed, so he had the front room all to himself. He gulped down some lemonade and slurped up another spoonful of chocolate ice cream. It had all worked out perfectly. Mom had wanted to call the doctor straight away, but by the time they got home, his tongue was looking much better. So she decided it was best to keep him off school. Bertie smiled to himself as he took another swig of lemonade. He didn't have to face Miss Boot, and he didn't even have to catch any horrible sports. Next morning, Bertie woke up early, brilliant. He thought Saturday. The sun was shining, and he didn't have to go to school. He threw on his clothes and dashed downstairs. Oh, you're up, said Mum. How are you feeling this morning? Much better, said Bertie. Can I go to the park with Darren and Eugene? Certainly not, said Mum. I don't want them catching your germs. Bertie frowned. I haven't got any germs, he said. I'm better now. I thought I was catching something, but it turns out I wasn't. Really, said Mum. Have you looked in the mirror? Bertie felt his face. Suddenly he felt itchy and hot. He dashed into the hall and stared at his reflection in the mirror. It couldn't be. It was. His face was covered in hundreds of spots. Well, that's the end of this channel, so I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked it, please click many likes and subscribe, reading clap. I'll come back tomorrow with a new and improved channel. Bye, everybody.